How's it going, comics fans? We got a nice original art haul video, long time. Uh, yeah, and so this is some of this is newer, some of this is a little older. It's been a real long while since I've done a haul, um, and so yeah, I just want we got some big original art fans. Uh, in the viewership. Um, and so I thought I'd show off some of the stuff I've gotten recently. So yeah, um, anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of Neon Genesis Evangelion, and my good buddy Felix Liu uh, got this for me as a gift. So nice unit. Uh, this is Unit 2. Unit 2 piece by Ryan Barry. Um, I wasn't familiar with him until I got this, but he does draw a lot of kind of like mechanical mech um, type of art, and yeah, did a fantastic Ava Unit 2, Azuka's unit illustration here. So loved it. Um, has some looks like has some kind of colored pencil to color it, ink, pencil. Um, this looks like it's marker right here. Um, yeah, loved it. I'm just you know you do a good Evangelion, I will be all over it. And if you guys are fans, I'm sure you love this too. And yeah, this is not the last Evangelion you will see in this video. So yeah, Ryan Barry, Felix got this for me. So thanks so much, Felix. Um, really appreciate it. And we'll cherish it as part of my Evangelion collection. So a couple other pieces here. Matteo Scalera, one of the modern masters, of today. He ended up drawing the last story of the Ambassadors miniseries, Mark Miller World story, and so it had 6 issues, all drawn by different artists. I can't really recall all of them right now, but I think the second issue, the first was Frank Whiteley drew the first issue. Second issue was Travis Charest. I think the third issue was Olivier Coipel. Then the fourth, I can't remember. There was an Italian guy. The fifth issue was an Italian guy. I can't remember who the fourth was. And then Scalera did the sixth issue. And yeah, I mean, uh, I think he's a fantastic artist. The Wash, and I just couldn't, um, pass up a chance to have a fantastic piece of art of a very Korean character, and so that's one of the things about this story is the main protagonist is a Korean woman creating in the ability to give people superhero powers, and then goes around the world and selects people from various countries, and so to kind of gift with these powers to be kind of a non-sovereign superhero team that helps the world. And so here, if you haven't read it, it's spoiled for you, but here, here is her basically devastating her ex-husband who, you know, framed her for crimes and let her rot away to die while he stole all her research. Um, and they end up battling, and um, she ends up kicking the crap out of him. Um, but yeah, I mean, look at the splash, just ridiculous, ridiculous. Detail, the wash, the devastation, great posing. Yeah, I mean, how do I pass up on this? Um, her superhero outfit is a Korean flag. So what are you gonna say? Um, and so here's the aftermath to that. Um, Scalera, wonderful brushwork, wonderful wash. Um, yeah, I mean, you know, couldn't turn this 2-page sequence down. Really happy to have it. I have no idea where the story's gonna go. They said, there's more to come. I think there's going to be a Miller World, kind of all his story crossover, Unity type, old school of your fan of Valiant, old school, thing, I guess, where they're brought together um, later this year. I don't know, but I haven't read much of the Miller World stuff. I only read this because of some of the names that were attached to it, like Quietly, like Charest, like Scalera, who I'm a big fan of all of them. And yeah, I mean, the story didn't disappoint. It was each issue was a worthwhile read, and each issue was visually, excellent. Would love I would love to have a Charest example, but I think a lot of it he did digitally, and there are a few pages that he drew, but I think someone bought all of them. So yeah, I mean, happy to have this great sequence, great splash. Yeah, so ambassadors, Matteo Scalera. So fans of the channel know how big of a Love and Rockets fan I am. And yeah, this thing popped up. This thing popped up through Art Droids. Great guy, Rufus Dayglow put this up. I've bought one of my favorite tank pieces, in my collection, a tank painted tank girl piece from him. And this wasn't cheap, but I had to have it. It's from Love and Rockets 2, Jaime's first feature story, Mechanics. And it's a chapter kind of title page. Yeah, and it happens to be the very first appearance of Speedy. So, if people don't know already, there is a story, The Death of Speedy. So, if you didn't know, later on, fairly early in the run, he ends up dying. Um, uh, I still don't know. I assume from my reading, it seemed like he killed himself, but, there was all this conflict. So maybe he could have been killed, but I don't know. Any viewers have some insight into that or have some idea of what they think, don't hesitate to let me know. But yeah, I mean, I think anytime I can get a page from issue 2, um, I really have to kind of do my best to try to get it, because this is his Jaime's first real, like, main major story, beginning and ending, long, um, and he came out, at such a young age, and just, blew the doors off of comics, and, seemed like he was just totally fully formed, and he hasn't let up since, and yeah, I mean, just experiencing this story, you know, while I was older, I mean, it was just mind blowing. I haven't, I can't even imagine what it would be like in, 1983, with comics where they were at that time, seeing this. And so, yeah, I mean, always buying Love and Rockets, Jaime Hernandez, great examples when I can. And, I think this is a great historic example, and happy to have it. So, yeah, got Speedy, Hopi, um, conversing about kind of Maggie, what she's been up to while Maggie is recovering from, her sickness, um, and Reina Titanian checking in on her. So, just great cartooning. Um, yeah, I mean, love it. Love it, and so happy to have this. So thank you, Rufus. Thank you. Ah, here is Mike Mignola, Hellboy. Hellboy in Hell, the number 5 cover. Um, I never had a proper Hellboy piece, and still in plastic right now. Let's see if I could take this out. But yeah, here we go. Um, the ending of Hellboy, got a cover from the Hellboy like proper series. I used to have a BPRD, Hellboy and BPRD cover that was just beautiful, aesthetically pleasing. But while I was kind of doing some selling, I let it go because, I kind of always just wanted, main run Hellboy cover. And lo and behold, this one pops up. What feels like a reasonable price, and I was able to get a little bit cheaper. And yeah, so now, I mean, for me, it has everything you need. Would you want like a huger Hellboy? Yeah, but I mean, for me, just as a um, piece of art, um, part of the Hellboy in Hell conclusion. Um, I'm extremely happy. This is for me. It's a one and done. And so, got the cemetery, skeletons, statue, um, depth, in the image, Hellboy, um, partially shadowed. Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, like these covers are a piece of history. That the Mignola nailing the ending of Hellboy. And I think this piece is in the library edition, the Hellboy in Hell library edition is like that first page. So like if I don't even know how to call it, but if you call it like an inside cover, where like that first page that you open, um, has this image, and so I'm assuming he liked it. He liked it a lot out of, you know, um, that group of Hellboy in Hell covers. Um, and yeah, for me, the composition is fantastic. So yeah, really grateful to finally have a Hellboy cover, and more than likely all I'm gonna need. So one and done. All right, you guys know uh, how big a fan I am of Duel Power Bomb, and how big a fan I am of Yua Steel Rose. And so this page became available, was taking offers, and um, it was such a great example. I know I have a lot of Duel Power Bomb, but um, you know, I'm a huge fan of the book. I'm a huge fan of Dan, and huge fan of Yua. And this is it. This is the first. This is the opening battle scene between Yua and Cobra's son, and so you know, is the first action in the book. Okay, um, in issue 1, and you know, Yua aggressively going at it with a kick to the head of Cobra Sun, and Cobra Sun recovering, you know, playing possum, forearm to the stomach. Amazing, amazing page, amazing story. Hey, you're watching the channel and you haven't read this book, the trade's out. I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? You gotta read it. Okay, so yeah, real happy to have this page in this example. Yeah, I mean, sometimes hey, when things like this pop up, you got to take advantage. All right, so here's some history right here. EC Harvey Kurtzman, Weird Science. I think it's number 5. So it's the title page to The Last War on Earth. So sci-fi story, but you know, Kurtzman is known for his kind of like war stories in in EC comics, and you know, he's famously, I think, anti-war. You know, point out kind of the brutality, and you know, this is kind of along those lines. You know, it's you know, just a kind of anti-war story about you know, how to end war on Earth. And so these guys think of this idea where you know, they you know, pretend there's an attack, you know, from Mars, and then everybody, it unites the world, and to kind of battle back and, you know, launch an attack together on Mars. And yeah, there ends up actually being Martians, and they end up being very powerful and counterattack, um, and destroy, you know, Earth civilization. But you know, this is the title page to that, and you know, Harvey Kurtzman, you know, a legend of the medium. This page popped up at a reasonable price, and you know, who am I to turn down, you know, historic artists, art from historic artists, you know, when I can add them to my collection. And so yeah, finally got it. And last but not least, we got this beauty by Ian Bertram. It's a commission of Neon Genesis Evangelion. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. You know, when this popped up, I was basically speechless. You know, it's an image of Unit 2, another Unit 2. It feels like to me, if you've ever watched End of Evangelion, there's a scene when, you know, Asuka and Unit 2 awaken while the battle is, you know, while they're kind of at the bottom of the lake, and the battle is raging above, and Nerve, you know, headquarters is being attacked. And she pops out and awakens. And so um, you know my feeling is that this is Ian's take a bit on that. There's a bunch of imagery, this kind of like water type imagery. I mean, what can I really say? It's huge image. It's 20 by 30. And instantly, I mean, I have some great Evangelion pieces. I have phenomenal 18 by 24 commission from James Heron that just totally blew me away. And then Ian kind of came with this, and this might be the greatest piece of art I have. Just Ian as an artist is to me visionary. No one like him out there today. If you've read Little Bird, just phenomenal. Visually phenomenal, world building, character, creation and building. And I've seen glimpses of Precious Metal that should be out anytime now this year, probably by the end of the year. And he's leveled up. He's constantly experimenting, trying new things, new kind of visual ideas. And yeah, I mean, this is one of the most mind-blowing pieces in my collection, and I'm so grateful to have it. I'm so grateful that Ian went nuts to create this at this giant of a size. Yeah, I mean, for me, who's a huge, you can tell, from my avatar or whatever, I'm just a huge fan of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Um, you know, uh, there is a manga uh, by one of the animators that, is a little different, but, I'm not going to get any art from that. And so for me, the design of the Ava units lends itself to getting commissions and different takes from some of my favorite artists, and so that's why it's my main kind of commission topic. I don't think every artist can really handle it if they're not a fan, because it's kind of hard to draw. You can get it wrong, and so, but Ian, um, went nuts here and gave me a piece of art that I will treasure forever, as long as I'm alive, and so thank you, Ian. Oh, I forgot. Gotta thank my buddy Lambert. He lugged this cross country on a flight uh, because of the size is like hard to ship. And when he came out here to visit, um, brought this with him. So thank you so much, Lambert, if you're watching this. Uh, grateful that you brought this out. Um, one of my very most prized pieces. Yeah, I mean, like my Evangelion stuff. I try to like pay a good amount to get really big, really good pieces from my favorite artists, and I just there's no plan there, to resell it. I highly doubt there will be crazy market, you know, demand for Evangelion commissions. It's something that's purely because I love the subject and I love the artists that I commissioned to create them. And so, that combination, I think, as far as collecting, is the perfect combination. And so, yeah, I mean, I as a collector, I'm probably moving away from collecting commissions just because now they're a little bit cost prohibitive, at least to get like what I like, which is max size, huge, from kind of important artists to me. So they're not, generally going to be cheap. I don't want to have like commission after commission. I'd rather get generally stuff from books that I really love. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten a ton of Evangelion from some of my very favorite artists and they've, nailed them, like James Heron, Paul Pope, Troy Nixie, um, Evan Cagle. Got some more, on the way that I've commissioned, and so probably chill out on the commission side of things for a while. Probably even on the published stuff too. But yeah, I mean, really, really happy with the way this turned out. Um, it was a piece of art, for me, and so well executed, just striking visuals, um, reflective of the story, reflective of what's happening in the movie, and so yeah, wonderful. And so thank you, Ian, and thank you, Felix. Um, never disappoints. So yeah, that's it. Finally get to show this off. Maybe some people have seen it online on social media, but before I upload it to CAF, definitely wanted to um, show it on the channel. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments. Um, guys, if you're watching, subscribe, and will pop up in your subscription feed. Help support the channel if you like it. Appreciate you guys watching. See you next time. Thanks. Bye.